In the last couple of months, we've been talking about America's side of the Cold War. But how about the size of the citizens living in the USSR? So what was it actually like living during the Cold War? Many citizens during that time, including my interviewee, lived in poverty and in horrible conditions and struggled to get by during this time. My interviewee lived in Kiev, one of the major cities in the Soviet Union at that time, and she and her family still lived in great poverty. Like most citizens at that time, she lived on a small apartment with 10 people to each apartment. Life wasn't going so great for the citizens of the USSR. So how did my interviewee feel about her life in the USSR?
Um, did I like to live in Soviet Union? I would say yes, and I would say no, because when I was growing up, of course, you like the place where you live, you like your parents, your apartment, you like your school, your friends. But then, when you start to growing up and start to see things and realize that no, it's not good, because we were living in a very small apartment like everybody else. It was not enough houses for everybody, and we weren't allowed to go to college which you want to choose, because if you're different nationality you cannot get into the college you want. We weren't I was seeing how you couldn't find a job because it was discrimination based also on your nationality. It was not enough medication for the people who were sick. It was not enough doctors to treat the people, and it was not enough food for people. It was not enough clothes for people. So then we realized what to like about the life in Soviet Union.
So how about the children? How did the children feel? Well, for children growing up during this time, it seemed to be impossible. As my interviewee stated many times, they were under the threat of nuclear attack almost constantly, and they were being fed all this propaganda to try and believe what the government wanted them to. So, how did my interviewee feel about growing up then?
How it felt to grow up during the Cold War. I would tell you the truth, it was not easy to grow up during the Cold War, and in Soviet Union, of course. We, as a young people, we were confused. We did not know whom to believe. We were deceived by the government because they were saying one things and we were seeing the other things. And so it was challenging to grow up during the Cold War.
In class, we've reviewed a lot of examples of American propaganda during this time. What about all the propaganda that was used in the USSR?
It was a lot of anti-American propaganda during the Cold War. It was everywhere, on TV, in newspapers, in school, in colleges, everywhere. Everybody, like the government through the teachers, through the papers, through the TV, they were saying that Americans bad, that America wants to kill everybody, that America wants to start nuclear war and to kill us. We weren't allowed to watch American movie. We weren't allowed to watch American read Americans book. We couldn't listen American radio like BBC, different radio stations. It was prohibited, and if you want to try to do something of this, you can go to jail for that.
As most of this propaganda shows, the Soviet Union was expecting a nuclear attack from the United States. When I asked, did they make you prepare for nuclear attacks? To my interviewee, she replied,
Yes, we had to prepare for a nuclear attack. It was everywhere, in school, in college, in university, at work. It was a special classes that everybody has to go. It was very, very strict. You have to go every week for a class, and we were learning what to do, how to do it if America is gonna attack us. So we have to be prepared, and we knew a lot, and we make a lot of notes, and we have to memorize, and we even have to take exam what we will do if nuclear attacks is gonna happen.
So, when the Cold War ended, the Americans were ecstatic. But how did the Russian citizens react? After looking through a few sources and talking to my interviewee, most of the members of the former Soviet Union reacted in the same way as my interviewee did. They could not be more pleased with this outcome.
How I feel about when the Cold War ended? Actually, tell you the truth, when Gorbachev became the first president of the former Soviet Union, we couldn't believe it. We were allowed to go everywhere we want. We were allowed to read the books, watch the movie, and the first feeling was, oh my God, it's so good. Now we can do everything, whatever we want, we can choose by ourselves. So it was, everybody were actually very, very excited, and everybody were looking forward for the future.